Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And in the words of Lionel Richie, hello.
Coming up, the real reason why we aren't getting Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam.
The hot scoop on why WWE have cancelled 2 more SummerSlam matches.
You won't believe how much Goldberg got paid for Saudi Arabia.
Joe Hendry is signed somewhere, but where has he gone?
And look out, here comes the Wednesday Night Wars.
And a big update on New Japan subscription counts.
This is the news.
We are going to kick things off with a classic piece of Vince McMahon competition stifling. He woke up yesterday morning, he started typing into his Twitter drafts, "That's a nice pay-per-view provider you've got there. Shame if someone bought it." Terrible impression, but you get the gist.
I liked it.
Basically, what we're here to talk about at the moment is WWE are trying to buy FiteTV. This is according to Shagger Dave in this week's Shagging Observer newsletter, in which he documents all of his shagging and some wrestling news. He says that basically talks are actually quite far along as well. WWE want the service. They are taking it to a level of severity that means they've already had meetings about the damn thing. And while there's no real word on what WWE's motivations might be, it's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, Dave speculates that perhaps the company might use the content on there as part of their tiered network subscriptions, which are coming in soon, as we know, following the Q2 2019 earnings call. But also, you know, it also happens to be the place where AEW stream pay-per-views internationally, where Ring of Honor, where Impact stream pay-per-views, where a host of independent groups show their footage. It's a big distribution method for all of these. So if WWE do this, they're essentially going to all of those, which is business, isn't it?
I mean, we shouldn't really be surprised with WWE, as we've seen in recent years. If anyone gets a little bit too popular, they go, what? Buy you, buy you, buy you. And this isn't the Bill Gates and the Simpsons buying out. They literally just buy them and then take control of them.
Yeah.
And with legitimate, you know, passion for them to want them to succeed, but under the WWE umbrella. A lot of people pissed off about this online.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
Really hacked off. And I get it, but it's nothing illegal. It's, you know, it's kind of a shady move, but that's competition for you. That's capitalism. That's the new wrestling war. There's going to be lots of stuff like this. You know, if anything, it might force a promotion like AEW to maybe come out with their own subscription service. That's difficult at the moment because they've only had 3 shows plus All In. Not a lot of content you can sell there for $9.99 a month, but it might force them to rethink. Maybe they could show their pay-per-views on BR Live in the UK. They haven't done that yet. They do it in the US, obviously, but not in the UK. I wonder about Impact and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think that's my thing. I think as much as it's like, oh, this is a big move against AEW, they'll sort themselves out. There's going to be providers, people there who are desperate to stream their content. And granted, they may not be as established as FiteTV, but they're going to be fine. But you think of smaller promotions, Impact, Ring of Honor, and even less than that, they're in real trouble now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, groups like Game Changer Wrestling, other small independents, they'll have to completely rethink this. Now, lots of independent promotions these days do have their own streaming services. Progress, RevPro in the UK, a whole boatload of others, Evolve have WWN Live. There are options out there, but you know, there are costs associated with this, profit margins, etc. It's a dirty, gritty business situation. Let's see how it pans out, but for the moment, it looks very much like WWE are serious about this.
Yes, let us know your thoughts on that in the comment section below and how it may affect some of your favourite wrestling promotions. But we'll continue with more news coming out in the Wrestling Observer, and it centres around the proposed match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. A lot of us anticipated that was probably going to be the case, especially sort of a week or so ago post Smackdown Live. Then this week, we obviously had the revelation of Rowan being involved in the collapse of whatever the stuff onto him and the attempted sort of running into Roman Reigns' car. But Dave Meltzer has pointed out that it's not going to be happening at SummerSlam, but it may lead to something on the following pay-per-view because, quote, WWE have lost their timing on it and now it's not ready for SummerSlam. If only someone knew when SummerSlam was, eh? He's also said that they completely scrapped that whole career-ending announcement that Daniel Bryan was going to do on WWE.
can't make this up, can you?
Honestly.
You can't make this up. It's hard to imagine the pay-per-view passing without these guys being on air, of course. But
yeah, they're not wrestling, is all we can report. Like, I reckon there is going to be some sort of confrontation, perhaps even, you know, Roman Reigns attacking Eric Rowan. But I mean, on the one hand, I'm kind of glad that this weird sort of whodunit storyline that's got me quite hooked isn't just going to be blown off because it's SummerSlam. But also, it is inexplicable that two of your biggest stars, who you went, oh, that'd be good if we put them together, you just sort of lost track of time. That's what I say when I'm late to, like, dinner.
Yeah, not the second biggest, third biggest pay-per-view of the year. It's kind of mental. It's a crazy little situation. The storytelling might end up being better because of it, so it might end up being a blessing in disguise. You know, I'd have really liked Joe and Roman versus Rowan and Bryan on this pay-per-view. I think that would have been a cool little last-minute addition that you could have used to further the storyline, but we'll see what we get. Maybe it'll be a cool pay-per-view angle.
I'm just glad they're not feeding Buddy Murphy to Roman.
Poor old Buddy. He would have died in 4 minutes, poor fella. Speaking of SummerSlam, 2 other matches have also been pulled from the card this very week. They actually went down on Raw and Smackdown. The first was that 4-way, for the, close your ears, for the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Iconics, of course, dropping the belts to Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in a match that also featured Sex and Violence and the Bukkake Warriors.
Featuring Io Shirai.
And, of course, on Smackdown, we had Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black, which was originally supposed to go down on SummerSlam.
He kicked his bloody head off.
That's exactly what happened. Basically, both of these were scheduled for SummerSlam, according to Shiggity Shagger Dave. Again, on his shagging radio, actually, this time. So if you want to tune in, get some live Dave Meltzer.
Search shagging radio, please.
You won't get what you want. Well, you might get what you want, actually. It depends what you're into. But basically, he was saying that the Sami Zayn and Aleister Black thing was just, I said it in the accent, was just a classic piece of WWE going, nope, changed our mind. Let's do it on SmackDown instead. It was, what, 5-7 minutes long? Something like that. Short, but impactful. Did what it needed to. Apart from that bloody promo where Aleister Black was in his coffin while his music was the worst thing ever. Anyway,
everything except the wrestling is terrible about Aleister Black, but he is phenomenal in the ring.
He's wonderful between the ropes. And the women's tag team title match, that was also supposed to go on down on pay-per-view, but Higgity Paul, Higgity Heyman decided, nah, if we put the women on Raw, they can have a longer match. I think it ran about 22 minutes there, it was a beast. And they can showcase their skills. They have more of an opportunity, more of a spotlight. So while Raw is a smaller show, longer match, more spots, more chance to get over. Love that. Let's get these women's tag team championships built up. Let's get them important with stuff like this.
Well, built more. The Iconics will have the longest reigning and were legendary, defending their title on multiple occasions, 3 I think. So we don't need to talk about that. But I'm glad that the way that they've thought this through, to be perfectly honest. We criticise WWE a lot, but I would have preferred probably Aleister Black defeating Sami Zayn on pay-per-view for both guys. I feel like Sami Zayn, for no apparent reason, has just been punished after having a stellar post-WrestleMania period. Aleister Black, just make him wrestle, stop doing these god-awful promos with him, just have him destroy people in a few minutes, fine. I like the fact that they decided to put the women's Fatal 4-Way, inexplicably screwing the Iconics, giving a little bit more time on Raw, and also, whisper it, but as of right now, still, it's Friday, and we still only have 10 matches on the card, one of which is blatantly going to be on the pre-show, and it'll probably be the Cruiserweight title match. Sorry, guys.
Slight caveat, apparently Dave reckons they're going to add Cedric versus Drew, which might be quite cool for, so, yeah.
This is my opinion of the Cedric Alexander Drew McIntyre. I love Drew, I love Cedric, but this is my opinion. Let's continue then with more updates from the Wrestling Observer. Because Dave Meltzer is reporting that Goldberg got paid a whopping $1 million for his match at Super ShowDown, which is an absolute travesty.
That's a hoot, is what that is.
$1 million to put on a crap wrestling match. That is the same as the downside for his WWE contract between 2003 and 2004. And they are reporting, of course, he's facing Dolph Ziggler and probably murdering him at SummerSlam. They want to keep him around, who comes back once or twice a year for a grudge match, which I'd be okay with, but don't just make it a regular just for the sake of it.
Yeah, like make it mean something, and don't just do it so Goldberg can get another $1 million.
Yeah.
Like, I love Bill Goldberg, and I think that match with The Undertaker was actually alright until he nobbled himself on the ring post and got concussed. From there, it was, of course, an absolute...
Or when he concussed himself in his entrance.
Yeah.
Let's wrestle!
I'm already bleeding! After that, of course, it was a hurricane of piss. So here's hoping, you know, I'm not mad at Goldberg earning $1 million. Good for him. Scrooge McDuckin, and indeed the one that rhymes with it. Here's hoping the Dolph Ziggler match. I'm tripping over my words like a blind sprinter today, a blind hurdler. But let's hope the Ziggler match is cool. It'll be a squash. Let's hope that when he is used in the future, he can come in as like this badass old man coming to kick some young whippersnapper into Snape. Jesus, Andrew!
Snap Dolph Ziggler in half, wipe the slate clean for Super ShowDown. Continue.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Joe Hendry, friend of the channel.
Joe Hendry!
Former colleague, former Defiant, Kingpin, obviously, big fixture in the promotion, big fixture in ICW, worked with Impact last year, been in and out of Ring of Honor doing dates on the UK tours, and now he has signed with Ring of Honor. He announced this himself on Twitter last night.
In a great video.
Yeah, cracking video, very him, very tremendous. His presentation, his self like edited, promoted, filmed, all that stuff has always been great. He's a very charismatic guy. He says the free agent is no more. He has signed with Ring of Honor. And this is a very excellent opportunity for one of the UK's hardest working wrestlers.
Yeah, massive congratulations, Joe. He fully deserves it. He's phenomenally talented, not just in between the ropes, but you know, if you know him, you know what sort of promo he is, what work he puts into his wrestling outside of the ring as well. Fantastic stuff. Lots of Defiant wrestling stars doing stuff elsewhere. Martin Kirby, now over in Dragon Gate, I do believe.
Yeah.
So massive congratulations to him too. Just good to see British guys getting opportunities elsewhere and in bigger and better companies.
Yeah, no, it's great stuff. What's your favourite Joe Hendry moment, and why is it that theme song he did
with Joseph Connors?
Yeah, the Union Underground. Play Joe Hendry's music and Joseph Connors.
I saw a tweet. Really saw a tweet because we tweeted, a Defiant Wrestling account tweeted out last night. Joseph Connors tweeted about it, saying his first WWE match was at WrestleMania Access, I think, for the NXT United Kingdom Championship, and he was there like, here we go, right, hey, bloody hell, this is a big opportunity. I think he was wrestling Tyler Bate, and as he was walking down to the ring, all he heard was someone go, and Joseph Connors. So, fantastic stuff. Also, Joe Hendry's just mint, so...
Can we play the clip of that music? Yeah, do that. Do that, please, editor. Thank you.
This sounds really familiar. Well, it's not exactly a 50-50 split, is it? In terms of featuring both men, but I can't believe this has never been used for a wrestling show before. It's brilliant. The lyrics are certainly unique. Well, Hendry very pleased with his creative work here. This is catchy. I think this should be the theme song of Loaded.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the Wednesday Night Wars. Everyone's saying, oh, stop saying there's going to be a Monday Night War. It's not going to happen. Well, guess what? Yes, it is, just probably not the way you expect. We all anticipate, of course, that AEW's show is going to be launching at the beginning of October on Wednesday night on TNT. And apparently, the current plan for WWE NXT is to have the brand air on FS1 between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern. That's again according to the Wrestling Observer, which means we will go head to head. Now, no official word on when this is going to be officially announced by WWE, or whether or not it's going to be shot always in Full Sail, or whether they're actually going to put it around in arenas on each week. Who knows? But it's probably the best product WWE, I reckon, can put up against AEW. And as always, competition is only a good thing.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how it pans out. I think there's some kind of interesting situation there with college basketball games that are screened on Fox on a Wednesday night that might require a little bit of jiggly-pokery to make work with NXT.
Picture.
Yeah, there we go, 2 at a time, baby. But no, it's interesting. We've kind of expected it for a few weeks. Let's just see where it goes.
Just imagine them having a quick match and then going, quite quick, back to the basketball.
Yeah, oh, slam dunk da funk.
Yeah, you're only allowed to have a match in between the time it takes someone to score a hoop, and then start again.
Hooping, scooping.
Quick, go, bang, 1, 2, 3. It's just going to be all Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno matches, basically.
Yeah, LeBron James and that. Let's wrap up with a quick story about New Japan Pro Wrestling here. Report from Cage Side Seats in their rumour roundup today, talking about their subscription numbers for New Japan World, their subscription service. They're up in the US and the UK, and they are largely attributing this to the ongoing success of Jon Moxley and Billy Ostrich, Will Ospreay, both of whom currently active in the G1 Climax. Moxley can actually still win.
Come on, John!
He'll be involved in the deciding day this very weekend. Ospreay's out.
He needs to win and Naito to win, right?
Something like
He needs
that.
Naito to beat Jay White. I've slowly got more and more into this thanks to the Dudley Boys and yourself. And I predicted Jon Moxley. It's like, oh, let's hope it's Jon Moxley. And now I'm like, come on, John!
Come on, John! Ospreay's out of it, but he's currently in the midst of a career best year. A lot of people regard this guy as the best in-ring performer in the world at the moment. Very hard to argue with that. And yeah, good stuff. Great to hear. Yeah, New Japan doing good business.
New Japan just saying, Kenny who? Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course. If you want to send them to us, Brett Boss, or Bossy? Boss, I'm going to go with. Who says, do you think Strowman and McIntyre are being punishment booked in any way because of the Dogs of War faction from late 2018? Corbin have had a main event run, but none of the three have a SummerSlam match.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that...
Do you think it's just not got anything for you right now?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think Strowman has been treated very well recently. I thought the Bobby Lashley feud was awesome. I think he was presented very, very well throughout that. I feel like he's back on the right track. Drew hasn't been handled as well. He was kind of Shane McMahon's goon for a while. Now he's doing stuff with Cedric Alex Flippy Do. I like Cedric Alexander, I'm just being a fanny, ignore me. No, I don't think either of them are being punished. I just think sometimes WWE don't really know what they're doing. And
I'm hoping, especially in terms of someone like Braun, they're just keeping them on ice so they can heat them up as we get towards Royal Rumble, you know, WrestleMania time. Yeah. Brad sends us our second question today. He says, what are the chances of seeing some surprise AAA stars at All Out? Because, of course, some AEW stars were at Triple Mania. He suggests, and he's got me very excited by suggesting this, Cain Velasquez, who had a stellar match.
Oh, yeah, he did. Great six-man tag. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that because they have that ongoing working relationship with AAA. It'd be really cool. Maybe they could just do a little Lucha Showcase match. Cain Velasquez would be a good get for AEW. He's a name. He's a huge star in Mexico. Although the guy I want to see is my favourite AAA wrestler, Dave the Clown.
I also like the guy, I don't know what his name is, but I just saw a clip on Twitter over the weekend of the bloke who had an entrance where he jumped off a platform. He just started by jumping. I was like, if that's the start, where does the match go? But yes, Cain Velasquez is fantastic, and I guarantee Vince is going to be sniffing around him very, very soon because of their history with Brock Lesnar. I think that'd be, I'd love him to see him in AEW, but if Vince gets wind of the fact that Cain was the guy who destroyed Brock, and he can actually wrestle now, and he can maybe get Chris Cyborg in. Oh my God. I'm moistened, not just because of how wet it is outside. Fairly Little Steve, moving quickly on, gives us our final question today. With the announcement of the Women's Casino Battle Royal at All Out, who do you think will win, and who do you think they'll face?
Ooh, interesting one. It's tough to predict, actually, because your obvious ones are Britt Baker and Kylie Rae. Now, Britt Baker is apparently still concussed, although she gave an update on our recent episode of Being the Elite. She seems to be recovering. Kylie Rae, no one knows what's going on with her at the moment. She's pulled out of a number of indie bookings. She's actually deleted her social media.
Sad. That's what it is officially, just sad.
Yeah, it's harsh. I don't know. I have no good read on this. Maybe Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose looked great in that tag match recently. Sorry, the freeway at Fyter Fest.
I agree. Britt Baker should be champion. And should be one of the two names in there. And I think Fairly Little Steve's got it bang on. He's nailed it for me. Bea Priestley. Bea Priestley, and another fantastic UK wrestler who's gone on to do phenomenal stuff abroad. Her versus Britt Baker for life. So if we can't get a Kylie Rae, oh my God.
Get the money out.
Make it happen. All right, let's move on to today's, and finally, and just a very quick one for today. And shout out to Oni Lorcan, who has just been, I mean, he always is good, but his Twitter game recently has been phenomenal. The big finger picture was fantastic, and he last night tweeted, it was, of course, all caps, I have been sent by the gods of wrestling. May Vince McMahon forgive me for what I do to one of his champions. Oni rules.
Only Larkin's tweet in a nutshell there. He's great, isn't he?
He's great.
All caps yelling.
I still kind of want Drew Gulak to win at SummerSlam, but I'm going to be so excited. It's going to be on the pre-show, guaranteed, but watch it because it's going to be one of the matches of the night for me.
I love him so much. Everything about him. He's so angry when he walks down the ring with his finger in the air like this with that weird music.
His big finger.
The big waggling about like E.T. We've already done this gag, but never mind.
We really want to see those fingers.
Get your
really
fingers
want to see
for the
those
feral
fingers.
hogs.
Right, let us know your thoughts on that. I remember the feral hogs meme. That's died, hasn't it? Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Send us Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there. Follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Haggis.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling for daily wrestling podcasts too. Loads of good stuff coming your way this weekend, including a new show. That's all I'm going to say actually about it. Right, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching. We're going to go and dry off, and we will see you soon.
Suggy boy.
Moist.